Once she comes off, good. We can hit vibrate, send her back. Good dog. Vibrate is on now. Kennel, good. And now we can go here again. Vibrate is on. Kennel, good dog. Hey everybody, we're back for another video, and it kind of seems like we've been doing a little bit of place training work, okay? Well, it is probably one of the most important behaviors that you can teach your dog, and we've stressed that in the past, but I want to continue to stress that as we go forward. And one of the questions that we've gotten from folks is, can we see a little more of a deep dive into this? Because you show some basic collar conditioning, and then magically your dogs do really good. Yes, there are some other steps in there, and we have put them in to place depending on the series and the dog. So if you watch everything we've done, you kind of get all that we're putting together here into video again for you with shock. So far, if you've watched any of the last videos that she's done, we clicker trained her, taught her to go onto a dog bed. Then we started basic collar conditioning. This was the first thing that we no, it wasn't. We collar conditioned recall first. Then we collar conditioned this, but we showed vibrate conditioning to a place board. Then we added some additional expectation with that and teaching her to stay longer, so duration, as well as built a little bit of distance, kind of building off of that behavior, but still keeping it to almost non-existent distractions. Just her, just me, room without distractions, and a dog bed. Today, we are going to be moving into something new, which is essentially generalizing this behavior of kennel. Now, I do want to touch on the fact that shock is between 5 and 6 month mark. She hasn't hit 6 months yet, but she's no longer exactly 5 months. So call it how you will, 5.5 months. She is going to be working on differentiating between different places, okay? We have a platform there. We also have a platform here. This is a different platform, and she's going to have to learn that. As she learns more different platforms and different things, she'll be better at generalizing the individual cue that we use, kennel, to go someplace. Some folks like in their head to use different words for every place that the dog is going to go. And what that's going to allow you to do is teach a dog to go to an individual place if you have them all stacked up next to each other. So like this, we could say place, kennel, and then cot or something. We could give those independent words, but in most situations, there aren't going to be very many opportunities for that, as well as I've seen a lot of struggles with dogs in that differentiation. Even when you apply 2 different words, they're still trying to go to whichever one because they really are understanding more of the concept, and it takes a fair amount to apply the word. So we make it a little simpler, and we allow them to generalize the concept of going someplace, which includes later, like if we're going to jump into the bathtub or load up into the truck or kennel on a platform in a duck blind, a blind on the ground, or another floating platform style. All of them being a place that we want the dog to go and ultimately a place that we want them to stay. So what we're going to do to start with is I'm going to show you her progress. I talked about I was going to be working through some stuff. As we finished that last video, we'd moved into a little higher expectation for her. Good, okay? Okay, she says, you've worked a lot on this, Daddy. Okay, let's go. Once she comes off, good. We can hit vibrate, send her back. Good dog, good dog. Come in here with I've got a handful of food rewards. We're not doing as much with that, but when we're teaching new things again, we will. Good girl, yeah. And then having bigger expectations, being prepared here. If she steps off, we're going to go ahead and turn the collar back on. This is primarily vibrate. She feels vibrate till she gets back there. When she's distracted, that's when we move into stimulation. And we found that she's fairly tough. We have to be somewhere between a 5 and a 9. On the DT Systems 1820 collar, I'm using that today for her training. Most of DT Systems collars have a very similar level, so it's pretty predictable with that. If you have a different brand, you need to find what level your dog is going to be able to respond to. Okay, come on. This is okay. If you have to lead them off, what is that saying? She said, I understand that I'm supposed to stay here and that's where you're going to ask me to go back, which is ultimately our goal. So it's a good thing at this point. She's going to get better at differentiating both, but we have to conquer one task at a time. Good. Again, she can check things out. We can ask for some other small behaviors here. Here. Hey, 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 hey. Come on. Okay. Okay. I didn't ask for this, and I'll explain this here in a second. Okay, come on. She says, yeah, silly. Okay, good. Hey, here. Good. Good dog. Now we'll ask Kennel and go back there. Good job. Good job. Okay, so she's shown, and she's got a really good understanding. We've been working on this in the house. There, she thought about it, right? Foot down, no. Now, this is the thing that I want to point out. Lots of people say, I've got a board, or I've got a towel, or I've got a blanket, or I've got a something, or even just a soft pillow-style dog bed. This right here makes a very clear distinction for her. She's on the bed, she's not on the bed, right? So we can turn vibrate back on. She feels that, she goes back to the bed. It's easy for her to understand. On the bed, off the bed. And that's what we want. We want things that are easier for the dog. Now this platform over here is different style. It's a little higher. That differentiation between the ground and the platform is going to be easier for her, but she's still going to have to learn that. So we're going to move into that next. Good.
One little thing that I think you should hit on is the cue differentiation that she showed a slight struggle with there for the recall and the place training. Because
yeah,
she's
knows focused both on this. Yep, 100%. So she's focused on this. We've been putting a lot of emphasis on this, and this being kennel on a dog bed. And what we want you to be able to see in your sessions is have realistic expectations for those things, which is why we work on one thing at a time and slowly add new things. And in this situation, pretty much the main drill that I've been working on in this room, a lot of stuff we do up at the house, this just gives us a little more space, and we've been working on this a lot here. So this is what she's used to and she's ready for, which I took the time to make sure she could focus on the other thing for a second. But when you're teaching new things, try and keep it to just that in the session. Good. Okay. Now we're going to start by, we're going to teach a new place for her to go. We're going to eliminate this one because it's going to be a big distraction, right? She tried to go back to it. We just talked about why. So it's going to go away. Now, I'm going to start with this one here, okay? You got that in frame. I don't know if I came too close. Okay, good. So we're going to incorporate this. We can use, good. We can use a little bit of the, come on. Right here. Okay, let's get your feet moving, babe. Good. Here. Come on. Shock. She says, I'm supposed to be on a dog bed. Good. Now, I just said, work on one thing at a time, but what we need to get her focus on right now, her brain working toward, is thinking about training. Good. So do a couple targets, show her that we're trying something new here, and then we can encourage to try this platform, okay? It was just a try thing. Good girl, okay? We'll come off of this one, and then we're going to go back. Good. That was close. It's a bigger platform. It's going to take a second. Good. Okay. Come on. Good. Now, we've already taught her how to go onto a platform, so this should look like she learns it very quickly because she's not really learning much here. We're just teaching her that this platform now also is a platform, okay? Good. Now, we should be able to ask, Kennel? Good. And then we should be able to build off of this, okay? Kennel? Good. She's wanting to go back there because she already knows now. This is also a platform. I was looking for one here, and I found one. Now I can utilize this. Good. Okay? Okay. Come on. Come on. Good. We're going to send her here one more time. Hey. Come on. That's kind of a platform as well. Kennel. Good. Good dog. All right. So she's comfortable with this. Now we can move into vibrate. We're going to utilize the same thing again. We're going to start sending her and then building better durations here as well. Good. Okay, so she's off. We may have to eliminate that distraction, but vibrate is on now. Kennel. Good. And that quickly, this is literally, you have watched all of the time that she has spent on this platform. I've never used one of these before, but because we can generalize the fact that it is a place to go, and we've already taught that behavior, it's very easy for her to understand and differentiate here that this now is the platform and I can go to it with collar conditioning. Good, okay. Again here, collar's on, shock, kennel. There's distractions. She found some food on the floor. Enough lack of vibrate meaning much for her that she was able to stop and pick up the treats, right? And say, I'll get to you when I get to you. Which is, you're gonna see distractions like that happen. That's where stimulation comes in. We can pull focus from that distraction and say, hey, focus here for a second. Good. Now we've asked, and we can move right into the expectation that we had with the other bed, which is she's not going to come off of there until she's asked to come off. If she comes off, she's going to feel the collar. We talked about this in the last video, but we move into the positive punishment category. So it's saying, hey, stay on that dog bed. Or platform in this case. Good. Okay, now we're going to change again. Why? Because we aren't actually teaching a new behavior. What are we doing here? We're generalizing the behavior that she already knows, which is to go onto something. I'm going to eliminate this, hopefully as a potential distraction, and then we're going to set up this crate. Now, she has been doing crate training work since she was a little puppy. Every time she goes in, she understands what this is already to go into a crate, but we're going to show you how we can utilize kennel as the cue to apply to that, just the same as everything else. She's looking for a place to be, folks. She found it, right? And this is just more proof, and this is showing hands down that this is easy for them to understand that kennel can mean the place that you are going. And we can apply that same cue to every place that we want her to go. Good, okay, good girl.
Also, having a place, whether it's a crate, a dog bed, a platform that the dogs are comfortable being,
Kennel?
that is what allows us to have a place for them to be, that
Kennel?
they can have good behaviors while we're in the house, and we can expect those good behaviors when they're comfortable in these places that we want them to be.
Kennel? Good. Again, showing a very good understanding of this. You saw in that first rep, she kind of jumped up at me. I said, no, that's wrong. What does she do? Right back into the crate. She knows what she's looking for. She's still a puppy. She's still learning. Good. Okay, come on. Good girl. Good girl. Hey, shock, kennel. Good. Okay, come on. Good girl. Shock, kennel. Good. There you go. Okay, now we can apply vibrate to this. She's showing a really good understanding of this. Now, we've taught kind of kennel, and I do it through just sheer reps. Every time I put the dog in the kennel from 8 weeks on, we say kennel and lead them in. That is how we do our putting dogs in their crate process. So she's kind of learned already that that's a thing. We also develop without really asking for it, manners at the door. So if the dog tries to blow out, we just like close the door in their face. Hey, hey, hey. And then when they wait a split second, good, then they can come out. Okay, so she's learned some of those things before, but we haven't actually collar conditioned or applied a true cue of asking her to go into the dog bed. Into the kennel, excuse me. She just has learned, good dog, she just has learned that now kennel can be applied to places that you're supposed to go. Good. Shock, kennel. Good. Okay, so we've got a pretty good, I think we can all agree, we've got a pretty good understanding here. Now we can go here. Again, vibrate is on, kennel. Good dog. Shuts off. If you've got a dog that likes to eat, still focused on that, you can reward in this situation, right? Good. That's a good thing. It's fine. I'm not going to fight that. She's a little puppy. A treat dropped right in front of her face. We'll work on bigger distractions later. Right now, we're working on differentiation as well as potentially building duration. So vibrate is on. Kennel. Good girl. Now I'm going to ask her to stay here, and I'm going to kind of reinforce this, but we're going to do it slowly. Just that little correction. Vibrates on now. She started to come out. Good. There she backed up, right? You saw that back up. She said, haha, I felt that. I know what it means. She didn't have to come all the way out to turn around and go back in. This is a dog that's very intelligent. She understands what you're asking, what the expectation is, and how to shut the collar off by doing what we're looking for. So this is a really good example of differentiating between multiple different things that can be considered kennels or places for her to go. If you like using multiple words, do it. That's fine. We utilize just the Q kennel for all the places that they're going to go because it's simplifying verbiage and communication with the dog. We say kennel, it means to go someplace, and I can apply that, to anything that we're asking, including the treadmill over here, which is why she kept going to that. It's essentially another platform, right? It looks very similar in essence to the other things that we've worked on. Guys, this is the differentiation portion. Next, we're going to move into adding distractions, but we will probably generalize this behavior by moving it to new environments. So far, you've seen it happen here. I have utilized, I'm going to tell you, I cheated on you. I have utilized a platform, dog bed, in our house, but I haven't asked anything else other than one place in the house and one place here. So then we're going to take it into a new environment, which is going to be outside. There's a lot of additional distraction there as well, so we will be double dipping. No, flies, distractions there. We're getting distractions mixed in here as well. But we're going to be doing that next. No, kennel. Come on, fly. Gotcha. No, I missed. How did I miss? Okay. So that will be where we're headed next. We're going to take this all outside. We're going to utilize different platforms. We're going to really show how we're solidifying her understanding of this behavior in multiple environments. I'm the guy with the pink gun. This is Shock. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.